In 2020, the news of Grant Imahara's passing shook science enthusiasts around the world. A renowned roboticist, electrical engineer, and a TV host, Grant gained popularity through the science TV show MythBusters, designing and building numerous robots which were meant to test out popular beliefs, while working on a number of passion projects on the side. Grant's love for engineering shone through every aspect of his work. When I was a kid, I never wanted to be James Bond, I wanted to be Q, because he was the guy who made all the gadgets, he famously said in one of his interviews. Grant Imahara was born on the 23rd of October 1970 in Los Angeles, California, into a Japanese-American family. He was an excellent student, and upon matriculating from high school, he was granted a scholarship at the University of Southern California, for which he graduated in 1993 with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. He was also interested in working in the entertainment industry at the time, and had at one point considered switching majors to become a screenwriter. Finding out that the cinematic arts school at his university had restrictions which prevented him changing his major, Grant briefly left college altogether, and it was only after his engineering professor took him under his wing that Imahara changed his decision. Soon after graduating, Grant landed a job as an engineer for the Lucasfilm's THX division before moving to their special effects division. During his time there, he worked on numerous high-budget blockbusters produced by the studio, including movies from the Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and the Matrix franchises. He was primarily involved as a model maker, and was credited for his work upon updating the original R2-D2 robot in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Grant had also built a robot which later became a champion on Comedy Central's robot fighting show BattleBots in 2002. In the following year, he published a book about his experience entitled Kickin' Bot, an illustrated guide to building combat robots. In 2005, Grant joined the cast of Discovery Channel's popular science show MythBusters on an invitation from his former Lucasfilm colleague Linda Wolkovich, who was also an associate producer of the series. Filmed in San Francisco, California, the show focused on testing the validity of various rumors, myths, and conventional wisdoms through the use of the scientific method. Over the course of 14 years, it became a cultural phenomenon and was broadcasted in over 50 countries. Grant was initially cast to replace the former MythBusters welder, Scotty Chapman, joining Kari Bryan and Tori Belleci on the Bill team. The three of them worked independently from the main hosts, Jamie Hyneman and Adam Savage, and had a separate segment on the show. In a 2008 interview, Grant talked about what a typical filming day looked like for them. We could be jumping out of planes, learning to swing on a trapeze, swimming with sharks, and the list goes on and on. We usually find out what we're doing for the week on Monday morning. After nearly 9 years, in 2014, the trio left the show to develop their own series, White Rabbit Project, which was released on Netflix in early 2016. Similar to MythBusters, the series explored unusual scientific concepts prevalent in pop culture, history, and science. The first season of the show was warmly received by the audience and critics alike, but despite the praise, sadly, it wasn't renewed. Grant returned to BattleBots in 2018, this time as one of the judges. In the same year, it was announced that he'd been working with Walt Disney Imagineering and was included as an author on their research paper, Stickman, Towards a Human-Scale Acrobatic Robot. The robot, whose design was detailed in the paper, used as a gravity-driven pendulum launched to produce stunts, while utilizing a laser rangefinder to estimate its position mid-flight. Soon thereafter, a limited number of Stickman prototypes have been built for usage in Disney World theme parks across the globe. For the last of his projects, in 2020, Grant built a fully animatronic model of Baby Yoda from the TV series The Mandalorian, with which he had planned to tour children's hospitals. In his private life, 4 years prior to his untimely death, Grant became engaged to his long-term girlfriend Jennifer Newman, proposing during her birthday party in front of nearly 300 guests. According to TMZ, her antique engagement ring embellished with diamonds cost over $20,000. Jennifer works as an actress and as a costume designer on movies such as Batgirl Spoiled and the sci-fi short The Death and Return of Superman. Grant and Jennifer never married. Outside of work, Grant was a passionate tabletop player and frequently made appearances on the Greek and Sundry YouTube channel. He also enjoyed playing video games, with some of his favorite titles being Age of Empires 2 and Kerbal Space Program. Grant passed away at 49 years of age on the 13th of July 2020 after suffering a rupture of an undiagnosed intracranial aneurysm. According to a TMZ report, in the days leading to his death, Imahara had been experiencing painful headaches which were attributed to migraines. After his pain had worsened significantly, he was rushed to a hospital where he was correctly diagnosed. He underwent emergency surgery the same day, but sadly never fully recovered. After another operation, Grant's condition didn't improve, and he was then pronounced deceased. Grant's sudden death came as a shock to his fans and longtime coworkers. Grant was a truly brilliant engineer, artist, and performer, but also just such a generous, easygoing, and gentle person. Working with Grant was so much fun. I'll miss my friend, wrote Adam Savage, Grant's former MythBusters co-star, in a touching Instagram post. In the days following Following Grant's passing, his fiancée Jennifer tweeted, "I haven't found the words. I don't know if I'll be able to. I lost a part of my heart and soul today. He was so generous and kind, so endlessly sweet, and so loved by his incredible friends. I feel so lucky to have known him, to have loved and been loved by him. I love you, honey." On the 23rd of October 2020, the day which would have been Grant's 50th birthday, his family, friends, and colleagues announced the establishment of Grant Imahara STEAM Foundation. The non-profit organization is set to honor the late engineer's legacy by providing grants, scholarships, and mentoring support to students pursuing an education in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematical-related fields. There are many students like my son Grant who need the balance of the technical and the creative, and this is what STEAM is all about. I'm so proud of my son's career, but I'm equally proud of the work he did mentoring students. He would be thrilled that we plan to continue this, plus much more, through the Grant Imahara STEAM Foundation, said Carolyn Imahara, Grant's mother and foundation co-founder. To raise money for the foundation, more than 80 props which Grant had built during his time on MythBusters were sold at auction in August 2021. Several months after Grant's passing, the co-founder of BattleBots, Greg Munson, announced that the competition's Best Design Award would be renamed the Grant Imahara Award for Best Design. Grant Imahara left a big mark on MythBusters during his time on the show. The moment when he and the rest of the build team left the series is often considered to be a breaking point of the long-running TV show, as its ratings quickly plummeted. The low viewership, combined with the high cost of filming MythBusters, prompted the hosts Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman to call quits on the series. According to one of their post-show interviews, they expected the show to be cancelled by the network in the following years, so they agreed to film a final season and finish it on their own terms. The thing that really makes me happy is that most cable shows like ours just end. They get past their freshness date, you finish a season, and then you hear you'll never see another one. I truly thought that's the way MythBusters would end. We've been filming this last season this year, and we get to send it off. We get to pay homage to this thing that's changed our lives, said Adam. The final episode of the series aired in 2016. However, Discovery Channel was still on the lookout for more MythBusters content, so in the same year, the network launched a spin-off series entitled MythBusters: The Search, a competition-style series to determine the hosts of the new show. The winners, Brian Loudon and John Lung, went on to host the only season of the revival series in 2017. In 2018, Adam Savage made his return to the franchise in another spin-off, MythBusters Jr., in which we saw him mentoring a group of 6 aspiring young scientists. Much like the revival series, MythBusters Jr.'s unfortunately only lasted for one season. As of right now, it seems highly unlikely that we would see Savage and Hyneman working together on any MythBusters related projects in the future. Although the two are known as one of the most iconic duos on TV, behind the scenes there seems to have been a lot of tension between them, which may have also contributed to their decision to quit working on MythBusters. MythBusters, one of Discovery's most successful series, was initially developed by the Australian writer and producer Peter Rees in 2002 under the title Tall Tales or True. The network initially rejected the proposal since they just commissioned a similar show. However, a refined proposal convinced them to give MythBusters a shot and film a 3-episode pilot. The first name set to host the show was Jamie Hyneman, who had previously worked as a special effects artist on shows such as Robot Wars and BattleBots. Although Jamie was excited about the opportunity, he didn't want to be the sole host, so he brought in his colleague, Adam Savage. The two were the sole presenters during the first season, working from Jamie's special effects workshop dubbed M5 Industries, while his staff initially worked behind the scenes. As the show progressed, they became more prominent in the episodes, and 3 of them, Scotty Chapman, Carrie Bryan, and Tori Bellecci, went on to form the build team, working from their own workshop called M7. Grant Imahara replaced Chapman during the 3rd season. MythBusters also had a team of 2 interns, dubbed Mytherns, consisting of Jess Nelson and Christine Chamberlain. MythBusters typically tests out misconceptions through a 2-step process: replicate the circumstances, then duplicate the results. If this approach fails, they sometimes try to push the boundaries by expanding the circumstances of the experiments so that the results are sure to be replicated, exposing the ridiculousness of certain myths. Over the course of 12 years, the series hosts have explored some quite outlandish myths, including the possibility of riding a motorcycle on water, building a parachute made only out of materials found in a typical hotel room, and making explosives from coffee creamer. However, there are some popular myths that never made it onto the show for various reasons. Most notably, Adam and Jamie wanted to steer clear of paranormal concepts, as they believe these cannot be tested through scientific means. Other myths don't make it onto the show due to objections from the network and its advertisers. The team also hasn't tested any conspiracy theories regarding sensitive topics, such as 9/11 terrorist attacks and the assassination of JF Kennedy. Due to the nature of experiments conducted on the show, many didn't go as planned. In some cases, they have simply produced unexpected results, while some have even caused injuries injuries to people involved, or property damage. One such case happened in 2009, during filming of an episode in Esparto, California. Apparently, the entire town was shaken by a blast, causing broken windows and general chaos among residents. 2 years later, while conducting a cannonball-related experiment in Dublin, California, the crew accidentally shot a cannonball at residents' houses. The errant projectile missed its intended target at the local bomb range and instead soared up into the neighborhood community, hitting 2 houses and a minivan. Fortunately, nobody was harmed, and the MythBusters crew promptly apologized and offered to cover the restoration expenses. Reruns of the show are still being aired on Science Channel, while the entire series is also available for streaming on Discovery+.
Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss